My dear friend and colleague, the talented, funny, and beautiful Betty White, is this year's recipient of our Guild's greatest honor, the Life Achievement Award. I hear you. And yes, I know that a lot of people really find Betty White inspiring. I mean, she's been working as an actor in an industry for more than 6 decades in a business that doesn't exactly value getting older. There's a lot to admire. Me, I find Betty White annoying. I'm sorry. It's true. Betty, you make me feel bad about myself. You make me feel like a slacker. I mean, this woman has acted and produced and helped write her first sitcom in the 1950s, and she won an Emmy for it. She starred in 4 different television shows called The Betty White Show. 4. Most people, they'd stop naming shows after themselves after the 3rd one. Not Betty. First 3 Betty White shows didn't work out. She doesn't care. Betty says, damn it, we're trying this again. In the 70s, she's Sue Ann Nivens on The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Emmy. In the 80s, she's Rose Nyland on The Golden Girls, Emmy. And for the last 20-odd years, she's been in a dozen movies, worked as a special guest on every single television show that has ever aired. For every appearance she's been nominated for, you guessed it, an Emmy. And let's not forget her nearly lifelong fight to improve animal health and welfare. Well, it all adds up to one seriously annoying, some would say extraordinary person. Her radiant optimism and caring and kindness are legendary in our business, and to those who doubt that God has a sense of humor, there is irrefutable evidence to the contrary. He gave us an actor named Betty White.
This is CBS Television City, and this is Betty White. She's preparing to play the part of Ann Douglas on The Bold and the Beautiful. Whether it's TV or film, Betty is one of our busiest actors, and it's pretty much been that way for over 65 years. Betty was born in Oak Park, Illinois, and grew up in Los Angeles. After high school, Betty tried to find work as a radio performer in Hollywood. The results were discouraging until she got a lucky break on the NBC radio series The Great Gildersleeve, starring Hal Perry.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Merry Christmas. What's merry about it?
A few years later, just as television was getting off the ground, Betty was invited to be part of Hollywood on Television, a daily 5.5-hour-long variety program. The hours were brutal, but Betty loved every moment of it, even when the show was expanded to 6 days a week. Developing some characters from the show, Betty formed a production company and created a spin-off situation comedy, which they shot on the weekends.
Betty White in Life with Elizabeth.
Well, what's so terrible about spiders?
Tell him, honey.
They go doing.
NBC took notice of Betty and gave her a chance to develop her talents even further with The Betty White Show.
We now present with all our might, Betty White.
I'm a little lamb who's lost in the wood. I know I could always be good to one who'd watch over me.
Betty's perky personality and quick wit made her a natural for game shows. It was on one of those programs that she met the love of her life, password host Alan Ludden.
And I'll give the first password tonight to Betty White.
Their subsequent marriage turned out to be one of the happiest in Hollywood.
Until then, this is Alan Ludden saying the password tonight is...
Home. Will you take me home, please, Mr. Ludden?
I certainly will, Miss Ludden. Thank you. Good night.
Betty's willingness to do anything on television made her a frequent guest on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Would you care for a request, monsieur?
No, just play anything.
Isn't that romantic? name of that song he's playing?
I think it's Ebb Tide.
Producer Grant Tinker was looking for a Betty White type and decided to go with the real thing when he cast Betty in the role of Sue Ann Nivens, the happy homemaker.
Let's take a look at our finished product, shall we? Now then. Oh, surely that isn't how a strawberry swirl is supposed to look. Is it?
Teaming up with Rue McClanahan, B. Arthur, and Estelle Getty, Betty found even further success with the long-running hit series, The Golden Girls.
You know something? We are really lucky that we found a doctor who makes house calls.
I know. When I was growing up in Minnesota, the doctor made house calls all the time. For us and the livestock.
You and the animals had the same doctor?
Sure. Worked out fine. Until the doctor started drinking hog liniment and tried to neuter the Swenson brothers.
Betty showed an interesting side of her comedic talents in shows like Boston Legal.
I had befriended a man, Bernard Farian, a seemingly benign little person who had killed both his mother and neighbor. Bernard, you seriously don't think you'd ever kill again, do you? Well, I became horrified, I suppose, at the prospect of Bernard taking more human life.
And?
I killed him.
Better?
Betty has always had a love of animals, and they've appeared frequently in her shows, beginning with the earliest days of her career. She later had her own TV series that featured guest celebrities and their pets.
Do you know, if I was as pretty as this lady is here, and if my name were Daisy June, do you know to whom I'd belong? I'd belong to our very special guest, Doris Day. Hello, Doris.
Betty has championed the protection and humane treatment of animals around the world, and she's worked vigorously to protect species that are threatened with extinction. For her efforts, Betty was recently honored by the Jane Goodall Institute for a lifetime of service to animal causes.
Follow and learn.
Betty recently played a major role in the box office hit The Proposal as Grandma Annie.
Wow, incredible. Maybe a tad loose in certain areas, but otherwise.
Oh, sorry, I'm a bit chesty to begin with, and I happen to be knocked up when I wore this. Oh, let's see if we can find your boobs. They're in there somewhere. Oh, there they are.
Yes.
It's like an Easter egg hunt.
Throughout her career, Betty has proven herself successful in just about every facet of the entertainment industry. She warms the hearts of everyone she works with and infuses her own special energy in every part she plays. She's an incredibly special lady. No wonder everybody loves Betty.
This is Betty's height. Okay. Betty, my dear Betty White, for a career that continues to touch millions of fans and for your generous, ongoing humanitarian work, the Screen Actors Guild proudly presents you with this year's Life Achievement Award. Come on up.
from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of my bottom, thank you for whatever. Oh, my dears, I can't. And the fact that this lovely lady, she is such a wonderful one with all the wonderful things that have happened to her. Isn't it heartening to see how far a girl as plain as she is can go? 71 years ago, when I sang on an experiment thing that was called television, who would have dreamed it would culminate in an evening like this? I should be presenting an award to you for the privilege of working in this wonderful business all this time. And you still can't get rid of me. Only 88 last Sunday, so I've got lots more stuff to do. Being in show business is like living in a small town. People greet you like neighbors, not like strangers. And through the mail, you form friendships that last for years with people you've never even met. I often wonder about people who don't have some kind of passion, something that they care so deeply about that it never fails to fascinate them. How lucky can I be to have two such passions, show business and animals. Actually, I may have more than two passions, but that's none of your business. I am still, to this day, starstruck. I look out at this audience and I see so many famous faces. But what really boggles my mind is that I actually know many of you, and I've worked with quite a few. Maybe had a couple. And you know who you are. Back when I first started, it would never have even occurred to me to imagine such a thing as this moment. And I still can't believe I'm standing here. This is the highest point of my entire professional life. To the Screen Actors Guild, to each and every one of you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
When we return, Anna Kendrick, Stanley Tucci, and Sigourney Weaver with a special in memoriam tribute. The 16th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards is presented by L'Oréal Paris, because you're worth it.